Guys, please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Those who are attending in online, please check it, guys. All of you get my voice on screen. Those who are attending in online, is my voice on screen is clear to all of you guys? Please confirm to me. Guys, please check it. All of you get my voice on screen. Those who are attending in online. Right. Right. Good morning, guys. And check it what we completed there in the last session. Right, sir. Then Max, the next Saturday and Sunday, we have somewhat extra sessions at Servlets and JSPs. I'm going to take some extra session, and as well as Springer class also I'm going to take somewhat extra session. So try to plan for it next Saturday and Sunday. Then try to available for the classes there. They're important topics I'm going to discuss in both Servlets and JSPs, and as well as like what they're in the frameworks. Okay, especially in Spring framework. So don't miss that classes. Why? Because core Java classes, even though if you miss one or two classes, you can understand the next classes easily without having any difficulty. But in these frameworks classes, no, if you miss one class, the next class may be a difficult part. Understanding the next class is somewhat difficult part for us. So because of that reason, don't neglect and attend the classes continuously. And one more thing I'm telling to you guys. I got some feedback about our classes there regarding attending the classes by the students now. Might be people are thinking anyway videos are coming to us. What is the requirement to go to the classes? What is the need of coming to the classes there? People are having this kind of mindset. So then try to come out for it. So live class is always better when compared with other. Live class is always live class only, not any other one. Please recognize this what I'm telling to you now. So because of that reason, what I'm telling to you, attend the classes. Live class is always better than videos watching. Example I'm telling to you. Example I'm telling to you. Best example, if you watch a movie in theater and if you watch a movie in Netflix, what difference you got there? If you watch a movie in theater, remote controller is not available with you. You have to sit up to 2.5 hours of time. Every part you have to watch and every part you are going to understand. But if you watch a movie in Prime Videos or maybe Netflix, what's going on? Whenever we are watching that movie, if you want to leave that, then immediately we will pass that movie, will go outside. Might be. I think all of you might be thought of it as a flexibility. No, it's not a flexibility. It's a problem. Stop the movie in the middle and go outside doing your work and again coming back and again continue that movie. In the sense, in the case of movies it's okay, it may be a flexibility, but in the case of learning Java, it's not flexibility. It's a problematic thing. That is one problem here. And another problem I'm telling there, if you sit in front of me in the class now, it's mandatory for you to learn, but with my absence, if you sit in front of your system, that means in a video, if you sit there, then it is optional for you to listen the class. Optional classes are not giving more concentration, but mandatory cases are giving what there more concentration. Why I'm telling there, even people are attending my class there, but at least my words are recorded here. Those who are watching that videos now, you may understand the point clearly. Right. So don't take such advantage, no, then try to come for the classes. Live class are always better. Live class are always better. Okay. Right. Now let's move on to the point now. So what content here we discussed, guys, up to now? That means Spring modules we are coming there. In a Spring modules point of view, if you observe this, what we are getting clarity there in Spring modules, different modules here we are getting. Am I right or not? Different modules. What different modules here? No, like in 1.x version, Spring Core, Spring AOP, JDBC, Web, DAO, Spring Context, Spring Web, MVC. All right, sir. Spring 2.x version, some changes are happened. What changes are available here? No, core, AOP. AOP is dependency for what there? JDBC and what next one? ORM. J2EE module is introduced separately, but by combining some modules in 1.x version, some J2EE module was provided. Spring Web MVC that we are getting clearly. Next one is 3.x version. The total structure is changed. The total structure is changed. Right, testing module was introduced. Next one is what their core container module is provided. That core module is divided into the so many sub modules: beans module, core module, context module, and Spring expression language. That is another one. Next one is AOP aspects. Both are divided now. Previously both are combined. Now instrumentation is a separate module here we are getting. Of course, we are not going to use this instrumentation explicitly, but internal at server implementations it might be used there, but it is one of the module. Next one is what there. This instrumentation module will do something, some activities at a dot class level, not in our application development directly. No, at a dot class level manipulations, we are going to use it. Now, not required here. Data access and integration module, Spring Web module, JDBC, ORM, OXM, and JMS, Web, Servlets, Portlets, and Struts. These many modules. Next one is 4.x version. There also be small changes are available in 3.x version. There we are getting it now. Spring transactions module was introduced there. Previously it was not happen. Now it is available. Again, these modules are very same. Next one is here messaging module was provided here. Messaging module was provided here. Test and all the things here we are getting there. Next, 5.x version, the testing module was removed there. Testing module was removed there. Then remaining was there as is here we are getting now. So this is what exactly the modules information here we are getting. But at least one statement about on each and every module here we have to understand. One statement about each and every module, at least some awareness, basic awareness here we are going to provide there now. Right, sir. Now observe carefully. But all these points we have discussed it there. Right, sir. All these points we have discussed it there in right, sir. Turn on your face once per a week. What do you want to do, sir, by seeing my face now? Okay, so that you will get a feel of offline classes. Okay, all right. Don't worry. So if you want to see my face now, so there is a dialogue in movies, right? So try to see my Java. Don't try to see my face now. You are unable to bear it. What is that movie? Mahesh Babu dialogue, I think so, right? Let's come for the point here. Spring modules, right? The first module, Spring Core module. Spring Core module, what it is providing actually. Observe carefully what it is providing. So it provides the basic foundation for Spring framework. It provides what there? The basic foundation. It provides the basic foundation for Spring framework. What is that basic foundation here now? All right, understand this clearly. Like beans management in a Spring framework. Beans management. Remember, from this point onwards, you have to remember. In J2SC programs, what elements we are going to write in general? Interfaces, abstract classes, normal Java classes, Java bean classes, main class and a main method. These are the elements we used to write in core Java programming. Think of it in a Spring programs. Business logic, application logic, if you want to provide, simply the programming element is what there? Java bean class. Java bean class. That's the Java beans are the core part, main part of the Spring applications. Tune your mind. If I want to write something else, hello world, welcome message, I want to display. In main class, in general, in core Java program, what we are going to do? Main class, main method, Cessna.println of welcome to Java. In a Spring, if you want to display that, what we have to do now? Think of it. Welcome message is my business logic. Then what we have to do now? We are not going to use what there main class and main method for the sake of this. Main class and main method we will use for different purpose. Where we are going to provide this logic there? This logic we have to provide in the form of Java bean class. Take a hello bean class, a hello bean, where define properties and business methods. Whatever you want, you can prepare that. Public string say hello method. Inside this return welcome to hello user and welcome to Spring Framework. Bean class. Everything we are going to write in the form of what there? Bean classes only. Sir, got my point or not? Okay. How to prepare this bean class? How to prepare this bean class? What conventions we have to follow while writing these bean classes? What are the rules and regulations while writing these bean classes? Got it or not? How to implement business logic inside the bean classes? When they are going to be loaded, when they are going to be created objects, when they are going to be deinstantiated, when they are going to be destroyed, then everything will come under like what there? Beans management in a Spring Framework. That would be covered in what their core module. That would be covered in what module there? Core module. Observe carefully. Then after that, after completion of this, next one is what there? IOC containers. What next one here? IOC containers. This also be very, very important. This is a main concept of like what there been. Now I'm asking one question to all of you guys. Now try to answer for it. Who will execute Java programs actually? Who will execute Java programs, guys? JVM will execute Java programs. Am I right or not? For example, I have a class, employee class is available in my core Java program. How to access data of this employee class? What we have to do? Come on. First of all, we have to create object for employee class in main class and main method or not? In main class and main method, we have to create object for that employee class, where if you have any method there, then that method call must be provided here. Automatically, JVM will execute that. Am I right or not? This is in general concept here. Okay. Here also be in the case of Spring Framework, JVM is available. If we call any method inside the main method, JVM will execute that. But before that, employee class is available. For that employee class, object must be created here in main class or not? Got my point or not? Employee class object must be created inside the main class or not? But in Spring Framework, what's going to be happen? Please remember, this is the fundamentals of the fundamental. Developer never create any object with his own hands in the Spring. Developers never create any object. Got my point or not? Employee EMP is equal to new employee. No, this kind of finish sections never be written by developer. In a Spring Framework, it is against to the Spring rules and regulations. Developer must not create any object for any class. Okay, if developer is not creating object, no, but developer wants to call some business methods or not? If developer wants to call the business method, object is required or not? But developer should not create object. But developer has to access business methods. How it is possible to access business methods without creating objects? No. Do you think about it? We are going to declare that methods as a static methods? No. Always, how I'm going to use the static methods? Right, exactly. Here the point is what there. Developers are not going to create the objects. For creating the objects, for maintaining the bean classes, for creating objects for the bean classes, for maintaining that bean objects, for providing scopes to the bean objects, in a Spring Framework, there are some special elements, special components, no? That the special components are called as what they're containers. The special components are like what they're containers. Please remember, after JDBC, after core Java and after JDBC, maximum cases, developers are not going to create objects. To create objects, to maintain these objects, we are going to use the concept, like the terminology is what their container. If it is a web application, web servers will maintain web containers. Containers are provided as part of like what their servers. Similarly, if it is a framework, no, if it is a framework, no, if it is a Spring framework, no, inside the Spring framework, there is a concept like what are the container. That containers are responsible for creating objects. Developers are not at all responsible for creating objects. Container will create the objects of the respective classes. From that container, we have to get that reference values, object reference values. Then we have to use that reference values for our requirement. So containers are required in Spring applications or not? Say, from this introduction, I'm telling some basic important points of Spring. As of now, 2 points here are given. What are the 2 points here now? First point is like what they now tell me, business logic and everything we have to write inside which components, no? Java bean components. Not to write any such kind of business logic inside the main class and main method. Second point is what there, who will create objects for the bean components and who will manage that bean objects in a Spring framework? No, container. Container, that term is nothing but what there, IOC containers. That containers are responsible for creating objects for what there, bean components, where developers are not responsible for creating bean components. Clear or not? So if you remember this point, no, almost 70% of the Spring is very much easy for you. 70% of the Spring framework is very much easy for you, only if you understand these 2 points. Most of the people are getting confusion at this level, in this point only. They're not understanding these points properly. That's why they're getting entire Spring framework is a confusion. But if you understand these points now, it's very much clear. JVM is not responsible for creating your objects. Who is responsible for creating your bean components? No, containers are responsible for creating bean components. Where different types of containers are available. Mainly 2 types now. All right, sir. Bean factory, another one is application context. Bean factory is somewhat outdated. It provides only basic features of these beans, but application context is supporting for some advanced features of the beans and all advanced features now. What are these? We are going to understand clearly in the later on. That is another one. Got it or not? Okay, fine. Here again the concept is like what there, IOC containers states are available. States in the sense like what there, how to start these IOC containers, how to allow an IOC container to create an object, how that IOC containers are providing these objects, how to get that objects, that everything we are going to understand clearly now. So anyway, that IOC container, maybe people are thinking about it. IOC, what is it? IOC, sir? Inversion of control. What is it? IOC? No, inversion of control. What is that inversion of control actually? What is the meaning of it? No, inversion of control. What is the meaning of it here? No, right. Listen carefully. No, listen carefully. All of you observe carefully. You are the students. Listen, simple example. You are the students. You want to get a service. The service name is Java. You want to get service, Java service you want to get as you're the student. That means you want to learn Java, you want to get the Java service. Am I right? Is this the orientation? No? Okay, fine. 2 cases I'm telling them. Case number 1. Who is providing service here? Durgasoft is providing service. You are the students who require service. Case number 1. Students will come to Durgasoft. They will inquire for it. They will send a request to the Durgasoft to provide that service. If you are sending request to the Durgasoft to provide a service, then Durgasoft will provide that service to you. This is normal. Students request to Durgasoft and Durgasoft is providing service. This is normal orientation. Here it is not like what the inversion of control. This is a normal control. But case 2 I am telling them. What Durgasoft is doing there, Durgasoft is getting all the students details from the India, throughout India, from the colleges boards, from the colleges and all engineering colleges and MCA colleges, BSc colleges. Now Durgasoft is getting details from the colleges now. Then Durgasoft is coming to your doorstep. Durgasoft is requesting, okay, don't worry, you require Java now. Now I'm providing Java to you. Now try to take these classes. But where you are not submitting any request, no, but Durgasoft is identifying that requirement of you. Durgasoft is coming to your doorstep. Durgasoft is providing the Java course to you. Have you got the difference between these two? No. The second case is inversion of control. First case is what? That normal case. Observe carefully. Here, who is providing the Java course now? Durgasoft is providing Java course. Think of it, it is a container. Think of it as what there? Container. Maybe think of it as a Spring framework. If you request, providing response is normal. But without getting request, identifying the customer's requirement and providing service is nothing but what there? IOC container. Inversion of control. So inversion of control requirement is what there? What it will do there? It will identify which objects required which objects, which elements, which users, which developers are required, which services now. It will identify that requirement, and the Spring framework is providing the required services to the enterprise application automatically. But enterprise application is not requesting to the Spring framework provide the services now. But Spring framework will come to the enterprise application, identify the requirements of the enterprise application, providing that services automatically to the enterprise application. This is exactly the requirement. This is exactly the meaning of what there? IOC container, inversion of control. That's the point here I'm telling you. So all of you are getting it or not? So this total awareness is going on with what there? Spring core module, and so on some other concepts. And so on what there? Some other concepts. Observe carefully. Next one is after that, second one. Second point. Of course, here itself in IOC container, one more point I'm telling there. Dependency injection. Of course, this is also a very important topic. As a one form of the IOC container, that means inversion of control. As one form of the inversion of control, but dependency injection here we are going to understand what is the meaning of dependency injection. No, injecting dependent objects. Dependency injection is what there? Injecting dependent object. Who will do that work? Who will do that work? Is that work could be done by JVM or IOC container? Containers will do that. Who is creating objects? Containers. So containers will know the dependency level between the two bean objects. Which bean object required which bean object, that could be availed by IOC container. IOC container will inject the dependent objects into the dependee objects. Dependent objects are injected to dependee objects. Automatically that relationships are going to be maintained by IOC container. Leave this point here. Next one is after that, Spring context module. Of course, in the initial modules, this context is different and the core module is different, but in some versions both are integrated, both are similar. But here we have to understand now what is this context module. Observe carefully, guys, what I'm telling to you. Spring core module is able to provide support for only fundamental features, or fundamental features in the sense basic features like what there? Beans maintenance, then after that containers maintenance, containers, and so on. But it was not provided, but it has not provided some advanced features. Like what are these advanced features? You can understand internationalization and Spring applications. Internationalization feature. Next one is event handling. Next one is data validations, and so on and so on and so on. These features are not provided by what their core module. All right, sir. These features are provided by Spring context module. These features are provided by what their Spring context module. All right, sir. These features are provided by what their context module. That's the requirement, guys. What is the second module here? Spring context module. All right, sir. Internationalization, event handling, and validations, and so on. So many features are available, but I'm not going to list it out all these features here. Because of this reason only, some people are dividing that entire core module into two parts. One is a core containers, and second one is a context module. But actually, at present, as the latest version of the Spring framework, core containers is like what there? One module where sub modules. Beans. Next one is what there? After completion of these beans, and like a context module. Other one is like what there? Apart from this, see, already we have the diagram here. So beans core. Next one is what there? Context SPL. So this context and SPL, all these things are what there come under the second module. Beans and core is like what there, that core in the sense like what there, containers now. IOC containers and dependency injection and all. Beans in the sense how to manage that beans in a Spring application. The study of the beans will be covered inside this beans module. But or not, but these two are available under what there, core module. These two are available under what there, context module. But anyway, in the latest version, all are provided under what there, core module. But separation here I'm telling you clearly. All right, sir. This is third one. Next one is after that, Spring DAO module. Spring DAO module. Right, sir. Now all of you now tell me. Right, sir. So people are asking to me, what is the event handling? Anyway, then I'll discuss that content here properly. But as you completed core Java, especially as you completed core Java in my classes, you should not ask this question now. Haven't covered event handling in core Java? Yes, sir. Now I'm asking there. Haven't covered event handling in core Java in general? Those who are attending core Java, you have to answer for it. Yeah, that is the reason why I said to you number of times in the core Java classes, GUI topic is available in core Java. That is outdated, not required to use. But the internals of GUI are very, very important. They are required for our future concepts. I said this point. I think all of you neglected that GUI part. When I take the class for GUI, very less number of people are attending there. Hardly 15 to 20 members are attended for that. But I completed the topic there. In the videos, the topic is available. If you attend that class there, now you should not get any question like what that event handling. What is that event handling? Leave this. Even in a JDBC also I've used a number of times that event handling. Action listener class I provided, action performance method I provided. That is completely related to what their event handling only. What's the meaning of it now? When an event is raised by GUI component, that event could be taken by like what the listener, that event could be handled by listener. Listener is providing some response. As is the same concept. Same thing, same idea is provided inside what their Spring framework. That event handling is not only in the case of Spring framework, no, that will be useful in so many aspects. In servlets, we are going to see event handling in the future. In JSPs, we are going to see event handling in the future. In JavaScript, you are able to have what there event handling in the future. Not only that, in Spring framework, we are going to see event handling in the future. Event handling is the most generic one. Everywhere it will be utilized. Can I give one real-time example for the event handling, how it is going to be utilized there? If you take WhatsApp, for example, myself is a friend in our account list. My name, that means my account is available with you. So when we open my account in the WhatsApp, where at the top after our number, some status value we are able to get. What is the status value there? Maybe online. We are able to get the status value or not. In the case if you are not available there, no intimation will be provided. For example, you open my account, unexpectedly I was open WhatsApp there, immediately we are getting the status is what there online. How it is no? When I open that WhatsApp here, already you open my account there, we are observing my account post no. When I open WhatsApp there, automatically what happened there no, there is an event will be raised. Internally event is a listener is catching my event. I open WhatsApp, that is an event that is captured by what their listener immediately will give notification to what their to the other user, those who open my account. Then immediately there they can see what their online mode. Best example for what their event handling. Yes sir, got it or not? Not only that, for example Facebook, if we taken as an example, number of friends are available 5. If any friend is doing some like or maybe something else no, or maybe something else, he shared something else, we are getting a notification or not? Got my point or not? You are getting a notification or not? That notification is come under like what their event handling only. If he has done some work, in the sense event is raised, listener will listen that, listener will give that notification to everybody. So this is exactly the meaning of like what their event handling, sir. So number of like this number of examples here we can say, not required here. Leave this punch here. So that's why, because of that reason I'm telling to you, in core Java so many topics are available. All these topics may not be utilized directly in core Java itself, but the topics may be utilized in what there next or further. This is the best example. Everybody is neglecting the GUI, but in GUI event handling topic is available. Now we are talking about that topic now. In framework, we are able to use that. Right, sir. Anyway, now come for this DAO module. Guys, I think so all of you might be aware about the DAO. Even in my JDBC also, I prepared so many applications, DAO based applications. Like MVC based applications, I prepared there. Controller layer, service layer, and DAO layer, data access object. Now here, what Spring is providing there? Spring framework provides very good environment to implement DAO layer in MVC based applications. Understand, guys? In MVC based applications, it provides very good environment to implement DAO layer in MVC based applications. Got it or not? All right, sir. Then after that, if you know JDBC module, then it is very simple to understand that. Otherwise, leave this one, not required. Just only one point I'm telling them. Next one is it defines. This is important. It defines Spring framework one. This module defines a Spring framework one exception classes hierarchy. Clear? All of you know what I'm telling to you. Spring framework's own exception classes hierarchy, and it is converting normal checked exceptions which are provided by JDBC to Spring framework provided unchecked exceptions. That's it. Checked exceptions are most dangerous than unchecked exceptions. To handle the checked exceptions, we have to put some effort. We have to write some Java code to handle the checked exceptions. But for handling unchecked exceptions, no need to put that much of effort. Very simple to handle unchecked exception. But what Spring framework is doing now? Spring framework has defined their own exceptions. No, whatever the checked exceptions which are coming in JDBC, almost all the checked exceptions. What are the checked exceptions which are coming in JDBC? All these checked exceptions are converting into what their unchecked exceptions. Then it simplify that exception handling mechanism in Spring framework. Now defining own exceptions, converting checked exceptions into unchecked exceptions, and maintaining these many are done by like which module of the Spring framework there? DAO module of the Spring framework. Answer my point. Not only that, it simplifies DAO layer. Not only that, simplifying the DAO layer, it is working something on what their exceptions also. Underlying technologies provided checked exceptions are converting into what their Spring framework provided unchecked exceptions. What's the need of it now? Checked exceptions are most dangerous than what their unchecked exceptions. To handle checked exceptions, we have to write some Java code explicitly, but to handle unchecked exceptions, no need to think much about it. So different mechanisms are available. Declarative approaches of exception handling is available. So if we do something in a declarative manner, all the unchecked exceptions are going to be handled here. So there is a concept like what there exception handling in Spring framework that we are going to see in the case of like what there DAO module. Right, so that's okay, fine. That is the third module here we can understand. Fourth one is what there Spring JDBC module. All right, sir. Then what exactly this JDBC module here? What you are thinking about this JDBC module? All right, sir. Everybody observe carefully. What is this JDBC module actually? What exactly the meaning of this JDBC module? All of you observe carefully. Listen carefully. I'm asking one question there. In plain JDBC, to perform database operations, we have to use the following steps. What steps here we have to use, sir? Now tell me. Come on. In JDBC, in plain JDBC, to perform data normal JDBC. In advanced Java, we are understanding JDBC, right? Where in the normal JDBC to perform database operations, we have to use the following steps. What steps here we have to use there? Now tell me. Come on. First one is what there? Load and register driver. Am I right or not? Now tell me what instruction here we are using there. No, class dot for name of here what we are able to write there, something else like what there, com dot mysql dot cj dot jdbc dot driver, that we are able to provide. This is step number one. Step number two, establish connection between Java application and what next one here, database. Tell me, sir, then what we have to provide there? Connection con is equal to driver manager dot get connection of. Here we have to provide like what there, jdbc colon mysql colon slashes localhost colon 3306 slash Durga db. That's okay. Now this is like what I'm telling to you. Observe carefully. This is another step here we can understand. All right, sir. Next one is after that. Third one. Now what the third one can know? Create statement, or what next one here? Prepared statement, or what next one here? Callable statement. Callable statement as per the requirement. As per the requirement. Observe carefully. All right, sir. Now here. How we are going to write this in a section here? Now tell me. Statement st is equal to con dot create statement. Of course, if you don't want to use statement there, then we can go for what? Prepared statement. If you don't want to use prepared statement there, we have to go for what? Callable statement. That is totally depending on our application requirement. Okay, leave this one. This is sufficient now. Next one is what? After that, right, D, point number D. What is this point number D here? Write and execute SQL query or not? Write and execute SQL queries. To write and execute SQL queries here, we are having three methods. In general, what are the three methods here? We can understand now. First one is like what there? Result set. Result set rs is equal to then statement dot, for example, st dot. What method here we have to use there? Execute query of, like what we have to do there? Select a star from emp1. That's okay. Or else, if you don't want to use the select SQL query, if you want to use non-select SQL query, int row count is equal to st dot execute update method here we have to use. There we have to write like what there, update emp1 set esal is equal to esal plus 500, where esal less than 10,000. Something else here we are able to provide that in a section here now. Right, sir. Maybe or else we are going to write some execute method here. Both the types of SQL queries here we can execute. That doesn't matter here now. That's okay, fine. Next one is after that. Observe carefully. Then after that, what next one here? Of writing and executing that SQL queries now. Next one is what there? Close the resources. What resources here we are going to close, guys? Now tell me. All right, so now here we are going to use like what there? Result set dot close, or maybe statement dot close. Maybe then what next one here? Con dot close. Of course, if we close connection, not required to close remaining two things. Automatically they'll be closed. I think these are well-known topics only. Now tell me. Overall in plain JDBC, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps we required or not? To connect with the database or to prepare any JDBC application yearly, 5 steps we required or not? All right, sir. Exactly here, how many steps we required here? 5 steps we required. Clear or not? Now tell me, out of all these 5 steps, which steps are very much common in every JDBC application, or which step is a variable step? Now tell me. Now tell me, load and register the driver is very much common or not? Establish connection is very much common or not? Creating statement is very much common or not? But write and execute SQL query is varied. The next one is close the resources is very much common or not? All right, so the point is like what there, where in all JDBC applications, all right, sir, in all JDBC applications, the steps like load and register driver, comma, load and register driver, comma, establish connection, comma, creating statement object, and closing resources are common in all JDBC applications. The steps like load and register driver, establish connection, creating statement object, and closing the resource are common. Only the step write and execute SQL queries is a variable from application to application. Sir, got it or not? This is like what the JDBC. Now I'm going to give like what the conclusion in Spring JDBC. In the above context, Spring JDBC module is able to abstract all the common steps of JDBC, is able to abstract all the common steps of JDBC in the form of template classes, JDBC template, simple JDBC template, or named parameter JDBC template, like this. So many template classes are available. All the steps are abstracted. Abstract in the sense developers are not recorded, but they're available. Internally they are available. Maintained by what there? Spring JDBC in the form of template classes. In the above context, Spring JDBC module is able to abstract all the common steps of JDBC in the form of template classes, and it provides option to the developer. It provides option to the developers like to write only write and execute SQL queries. So now tell me, in the point of developer, what developer is going to write there? What developers are going to write there? Now tell me. Only write and execute SQL queries. Am I right or not? Simple JDBC template, for example, JDBC template dot query. That's enough. There is a method query. Simply we can write like what there, select a star from EMP1. That's finished. Not required to like load and register the driver. Not required to write establish the connection. Not required to like what there, create statement and all. Not required to close the resources. Everything could be done in the form of like what there, JDBC template. For the sake of select SQL queries, we are going to use what method? Query method. Or if we want to execute non-select SQL query, there we can go for what there, execute method. Yes, I got my point or not? So here we are able to use like what there, JDBC template dot what method can know, execute. There we can write like what there, non-select SQL queries, like what there, update EMP1 set eSal is equal to eSal plus 500, where regular SQL query only, where eSal less than 10,000. That's it. In that way, here we are able to have what there, JDBC template method. JDBC template is what there, is an abstraction which provides abstraction for all the common steps of the JDBC. That common steps of the JDBC is called as boilerplate code. The common steps of JDBC is what there, boilerplate code. That boilerplate code is removed or reduced by whom there, by JDBC template classes. The JDBC template class are nothing but like what there, Spring JDBC module. Perfect. Yes, sir. Now tell me, Spring JDBC is an advantage module or not? Definitely it is providing some advantage for the developers or not? Right, so no, that is the purpose of like what there, Spring JDBC. Right, sir, leave this one. Right, sir. Spring JDBC module is completed. Next one is after that Spring AOP module. What is this number actually? Fifth one, right? Spring AOP module. What is this Spring AOP module? What it able to provide there? It provides aspect orientation in Spring applications. It provides what there? Aspect orientation in Spring applications. Like, what is this aspect orientation there? Like, observe carefully. I'm telling there. A, creating aspects and injecting aspects. Creating advices and injecting or implementing as advices. Right, sir. Next one is defining point cuts, defining join points and point cuts. To inject aspects and so on, so many. Observe carefully. Then if you want to understand properly this, we need to have some awareness on Spring, then only it is possible there. But I will give some examples to you. Try to understand this example. All of you guys, observe carefully. How we are going to implement this AOP? One best example. For example, I given a check of a 5 lakhs to somebody else in outside. Previously, I have taken money from him. Now I want to return that money, but he has given liquid cash to me. But this time, liquid cash is not available. So I want to give that. I want to return that 5 lakhs to him in the form of a check. I given that check with the date, the post-dated date or something else. Now I given that check to him. And then what happened there? When I given that check to him, on time, he went to the bank and he dropped that check in the bank. He want to go for some deposit operation with the check. He want to claim the money through this check. So he has filled that check form, then he has attached that check and given that check to the bank people. Okay. Now observe carefully. When I given check now, when my customer has sent that check to the bank now, what is the business logic here? My business is what there? Where in that situation business is what there? Debiting some amount of money from my account, crediting the same amount of money in my customer's account. Got it or not? This is a point. Yeah, the business is what there. When I given a check, when he dropped the check into the bank now, when he want to clearance from the check there, then what they have to do there? What is the business here? No, here the business is what there? Myself, from my account, some amount of money has to be debited. 5 lakhs must be debited. Same 5 lakhs must be credited to whom there? No, other person. That means transfer funds is a business actually. But observe this clearly. What happened there? When he dropped a check into the bank now, when bank people have taken the check and when they're trying to process the check, immediately they are giving an intimation to me. For example, today bank people wants to clear the check. Immediately in early hours, for example 10 o'clock, the bank is going to be open. When the bank is open at 10 o'clock, at 10:05 in the early hours of the bank, that bank people have sent a notification to me. What is that notification? There is a check for the sake of clearance from your account, so please try to maintain the proper amount in our account. I get my point or not? So there is a check for clearance, no? So try to have some proper amount in our account. Even they didn't check it, amount is sufficient or not. but they have given an information to me. There is a check for the sake of clearance. Information I got. Okay, then after getting that notice there, then the check is going to be processed. When check is processed, some amount might be debited from my account or not. Debited and transferred to some other account or not. Then immediately that bank people have sent another message to me. What is that another message there? This amount is debited from your account. This much of amount is debited from your account. That is transferred to some other account. That notice here we are getting or not? Observe carefully here. Actual business logic is what there. Transfer some amount of money from my account to other account now. But before this, I got one notification about the check clearance no. After completion of this business logic execution, another notification I got there, some amount is debited here. That means before our business method, some activity we have to perform. After the business method, some other activity must be performed. Am I right or not? Right, exactly. The first one is nothing but one advice, and after the business method execution, another advice is available. Both the advices are going to be executed for every business method. Now, implementing this advice, before advice, implementing after advice, before advice and after advice, and injecting them to my business method. These two advices are injecting to my business method. My business method is what there? Transfer funds. So injecting these two methods for my business method, applying this term for my business method, this entire story, this overall system is nothing but what there? AOP, aspect oriented programming. Yes, all of you are getting clarity on these points now? Right, so now that we are able to get in the form of like what there? Spring AOP module. Of course, here also we are going to achieve this one by using like what there? Basic Spring AOP. Next one is what there? Declarative approaches are available. Like annotation approaches are available. Different models are available to implement aspect orientation. Right, sir, is one of the basic model in Spring framework. Without this model, we can't do anything in the future here. No? That is another point here. Right, sir. Next one, after completion of this, after understanding this AOP, next one is like what there? Spring transactions module. What is this module? You know, Spring transaction module. Right, guys. Now observe carefully. What is the meaning of this transaction module? What is its meaning actually? What is the meaning of this transaction module? What do you understand there? I think almost all of you completed JDBC, right? Am I right or not? In JDBC, there is a topic like transactions. Completed? In JDBC, there is a transactions topic. Completed? In a transactions topic, what we understand there? Now tell me. First of all, we understood what is a transaction. Then after that, asset properties. Atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. Observe carefully. Next one is after that, how we are able to manage atomicity property, how we are able to manage isolation. That means auto commit mode and atomicity property achievement and isolation levels. This type of discussion is going to be happen, is available in JDBC. Right, as it is, all these transaction related activities are simplified. All these transaction related activities are simplified by Spring transaction module by having its own predefined library. By having its own predefined library. Right, so the point is like what there? It simplifies the transactions implementation in enterprise applications by having its own predefined library in the form of transaction manager. Next one is what there? Transaction state, transaction definition, and so on and so on and so on. So many predefined libraries are available. All these predefined libraries are what they are doing there. Observe carefully. All these predefined libraries are doing simplifying the transactions environment, simplifying the transactions processes. Like what transaction processes are simplified here, we have to understand. Like atomicity property achievement, commit or rollback operations there now. Next one is what their isolation levels. Not only that isolation levels, there we can understand like what there transactions behaviors are available. Transactions behavior, some other attributes are also existed then. So all these things are provided here inside this particular content. It simplifies the transaction implementation activities like atomicity, comma, isolation levels, and so on in the enterprise applications by having its own predefined library in the form of transaction manager, transaction state, and so on. That's okay, fine. All the points here we understood clearly. Next one is after that Spring ORM module. Spring ORM module. Right, sir. Then what is this ORM module actually? What is the need of this ORM module? Object relational mapping. ORM stands for like what there? Object relational mapping. What is this object relational mapping now? Anyway, straightforward, I'm not going to give this punch here. If you want to understand this ORM module, we require some Hibernate basics. If you have Hibernate basics or JPA basics, then it will be very simple. Otherwise, it is somewhat difficult. But anyway, I'll try to give some points to you. Now try to understand these points here. All right, sir. Hibernate is one of the ORM implementation. By providing mapping between bean classes and tables in the database, ID properties and primary key columns, normal variables and column names. By providing this mapping, no, which simplifies database operations. And Hibernate main intention is what there is against to the SQL queries in a Java program. So Hibernate wants to perform database operations without using SQL queries explicitly, just by using Java methods. If you want to insert a record into the database, just call save method. Save Java method if you call that. Save method, Java method if you call, record will be inserted to the database. Yes, sir, got my point or not? But how Hibernate is doing that work there? When we call session.save of some employee object, no, Hibernate will prepare the equivalent SQL query internally. Hibernate will execute that SQL query internally. Hibernate will insert that employee data into the database. But developer level, what is simplified now? Developer is not required to write insert SQL query. Developer has to write only Java method. Writing Java method is very simple when compared with while writing what there SQL queries. No, that layer is provided by what there. That layer is provided by Hibernate for us, but internally the required job would be taken care by Hibernate. Hibernate is able to insert the total data into what there into the database tables. Yes, sir. All of you are getting clarity or not in this way now? Right, sir. But what's the point I'm telling there? Database operations are very much simple by using Hibernate. Okay, but what Spring framework is doing now, how to integrate that Hibernate application with the Spring application? How to integrate Hibernate application? Hibernate is a separate application. Hibernate application with what there? Our enterprise application. To integrate Hibernate with the Spring application means that enterprise application, some environment is required or not? Some bridge is required or not? That bridge or environment could be provided by whom there? ORM. The Spring ORM module is a bridge or is a template. It is providing an environment to integrate Hibernate related applications with what their enterprise applications. I get my point or not? So Spring is not having its own implementation, but Spring has what there? An environment, a template classes to integrate ORM implemented applications with the enterprise application. Just it's a bridge. That bridge is provided by like what there? Spring ORM. Yes, sir. All of you get my point or not? All right. So then point here what I'm telling to you. Spring ORM module is able to provide very good environment. Is able to provide very good environment to integrate ORM implemented applications with enterprise applications like integrating Hibernate applications, with enterprise applications, like integrating Hibernate applications 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 with enterprise applications, Spring applications. For that, it has given some bridge. It has given some bridge. That bridge is provided by Spring framework. This is another one. Another point is also existed here. Now try to understand it now. Guys, all of you answer for my question now. If you want to work with the JDBC program, plain JDBC, normal JDBC, all of you now tell me what steps here we have to use. Nearly 5 steps here we have to use or not? What are the 5 steps here we have to use there? Now tell me. First one is what there? Load and register the driver. Next one is what there? Establish connection. Next one is what there? Create statement or prepare statement or callable statement. Next one is what there? Write and execute SQL queries. Last one is what there? Close the resources. These are 5 steps here we are using or not? We are performing or not? Okay. Where Spring JDBC module is removing all the 5 steps, no? Only one step. In place of these 5 steps, it is providing what there? Only one step. It abstracts all the boilerplate code and it allows only the required step to perform database operation. That is write and execute SQL queries. Clear or not? Similarly, if you want to write any Hibernate application, there also be 5 to 6 steps here we have to follow. If you want to write any Hibernate application, plain Hibernate application, there we need to write like what there, how many steps? No, 5 steps here. No, observe carefully that 5 steps here I'm telling there. All right, sir. In a plain Hibernate application, in plain Hibernate applications, all right, sir, to perform database operations, we have to use the following steps. In plain Hibernate applications, to perform database operations, we have to use the following steps. What are the various steps here we have to use there? Right. First one is like what there? Create configuration object. Don't think what's the meaning of this configuration and all these things, but understand they are the steps now. Create configuration object. Next one is create session factory object. Then after that, create session object. Next one is create transaction object as per the requirement. Right, sir? Create a transaction object as per the requirement. Next one is perform the database operation. Perform the database operation. Next one is what there? Perform either commit or rollback operation. Next one is close the session object. Next one is close the session factory object. All right, sir. Overall, how many steps can we perform? You know, 8 number of steps can we performed or not? If you want to prepare any normal Hibernate application, nearly 8 number of steps here we have to follow. But of course, I have not written the code, but try to understand this clearly. These many steps here we have written. But now what Spring Forum model is doing there? Observe carefully. Out of all the 8 number of steps now, as per our awareness, I'm telling to you, which steps are very much common, which steps are variable steps. If you observe this, configuration object is common for any. Session fact is common, session is common, transaction is common, but perform database operation is a variable, similar to JDBC. Next one is perform either commit or rollback is a common. Close the session is common. Close the session factory object is common. So here also be boilerplate code is available or not? Which code is acting as boilerplate code? No. Configuration object, session factory object, session object, transaction object. What next one here? Commit or rollback. Close session, close the session factory. This is boilerplate code. Yes, sir. Got my point or not? All right, sir. Now the point here, what I'm telling there, in the above steps, or in the above, all the steps except perform database operations all the steps except to perform database operations are common to all the Hibernate applications. Common to all the Hibernate applications. Okay. So it is boilerplate code. It is what their boilerplate code. Where Spring Framework has provided an abstraction for the above boilerplate code in the form of some template classes, and it is providing and it is giving an option to us to perform database operations directly. That's it. It is giving something like what there, some database operations directly without using like what there, without providing boilerplate code, without writing boilerplate code, then we are able to achieve this particular one. That's it. This is exactly the meaning of like what there, ORM module. Sir, all of you are getting clarity or not? What is this ORM module? No, this is what exactly the content related to ORM module. Yes, sir, all of you are getting clarity or not? Right, sir. That's it. And few more modules are available. Then 2 to 3 modules are remaining here. Let me complete all the modules. Then after that, I will start directly what there, steps to prepare first Spring application. Right. So the remaining part we will continue tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow I will give some demonstration for web module, web MVC module. After that, something else like what there, transactions already we completed, somewhat security module, little bit awareness I will provide. Then after that, we'll move on to what there, steps to prepare first application now. So tomorrow maybe up to half of the class I will talk about these modules only. Remaining half I will show how to prepare applications in the Spring. But without failure, try to attend these classes. Next 1 week of classes, topics are very, very important. Not even 1 week of classes there. The next duration up to core module, the topics are very, very important. Don't miss the classes there. So next upcoming Saturday and Sunday, I may plan for somewhat extra sessions for you. Somewhat long sessions I'll plan there. So without failure, try to attend further classes. Try to available for me in the next Saturday and Sunday. At least 3 hours class I'm planning there. At least 2.5 to 3 hours class I'm planning there. So without failure, try to attend for it on Saturday and Sunday. So nearly 1 week before itself, I'm giving intimation there. Not only this upcoming next Saturday and Sunday, max until the completion of Spring core module, no holiday scheme. After completion of core module, 1 or 2 days gap I will provide, then we can practice that. But everyday practice is required. See, still I did not started any applications now, but simple applications we are going to start. Once we start the applications there, your practical view is also important. Spring framework is very, very important nowadays. In outside maybe number of questions are coming from this core module. Core module is almost the same as the core Java. How much importance is available for core Java? Same importance is available for core module in Spring framework. Don't neglect. But all the concepts are well-known concepts only. Easily we are able to understand the concepts now. Once if we start programming part. So without failure, try to attend the classes effectively. Up to core module, no holidays. After that, 1 or 2 days of holidays I'll provide you. Then after that, we'll start the remaining content there directly. That's it. That's all for today. I'll meet on tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll see the remaining content, guys. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Guys, and those who are available in online. So tomorrow link is going to be changed here. Today is the last date for it. Tomorrow link is going to be changed there. So those who are not registered here, please register immediately. Then tomorrow new link will come. Those who are already registered, you will get a mail with the new link. No, if you're not yet registered there, then please try to register immediately. Why? Because tomorrow link is going to be changed. Up to today only the classes. Next one is tomorrow. Private link will come. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Yes, Sonali, definitely I will set up. I'll show that setup also inside the class. Every setup I will show that. Don't worry.